Hello everybody and welcome on board Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today we're flying the FlightSimStudios Embraer Regional Jet ERJ 175-200LR with the American Eagle skin from Flight Tampa's Boston scenery to Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky International Airport. I've already tried this twice and had problems with the aircraft, so this one is straight from maintenance. So it shouldn't have any problems, but I guess we'll see. Anyway, it looks as though Culinary just arrived, so we actually need to open the doors. So if we'll go over here, open those guys up for them. We need to get a GPU as well. Up, idle, off, everything up here is set. Alright, so the GPU's ready. Let's go armed. This nav and logo is perfect, and we'll go ahead and switch on to GPU power. Guess it takes a minute. Let's get the batteries on. That might help. Should hear the GPU crank over actually here in a minute. GPU power, right? Yep. It says in use. Alright, so this will go through its own systems check. Yep. Alright. Let's ensure that this is up to date. It is. Performance initialization. And let's go root over here. Alright, let's clear this out. I don't want whatever it thinks we want to do. Kilos, Charlie, Victor Golf, Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky International Airport. We are Republic, Romeo Papa Alpha, call sign Brickyard 4028. Fantastic. We're going to be departing runway 22 right on the Revs 5 departure. Awesome. Now, we're going from Revs direct to Charlie Tango Romeo. Charlie Tango Romeo. And then we're going to Hotel November Kilo. After Hotel November Kilo, we're taking the J49 to Papa Sierra Bravo. Sierra Bravo, there we go. And then after Phillipsburg, we're going direct to Mall intersection. That's Mike Alpha Uniform Lima Lima. And then Cody, Kilo Oscar Delta India Echo. Need to go to the next page. Plug that in there. Fantastic. And then we're on the Charlie Tango Whiskey transition onto our arrival today. What's Cincinnati looking like? Actually, what's Boston looking like? Boston Automated Terminal Information Service information. Lima's current 0754 Zulu weather. Wind is 240 degrees, 09 knots. Visibility is 10 statute miles better. Clouds few at 4,500, broken to 5,000. Temperature 10, dew point 05, altimeter 2970. ILS 27, departing 22 right. Read back all hold short instructions. And assigned altitudes. Hazardous weather information for New England area. Available flight service station frequencies. Numbers of cranes in Boston area in the vicinity of Logan Airport. Runway 15 right, 33 left is closed. Runway 4 right, 22 left is closed. Oh. Okay. Information Lima. Charlie Victor Golf. Let's get Datus for Cincinnati. Cincinnati arrival information Alpha 0752 Zulu weather. Wind is 120 degrees at 04 knots. So, let's do 18 center. We'll do RNAV Zulu. Weather's pretty good up there. Tigger 3 via Charlie Tango Whiskey. Apply. Alright, we have CTR, H&K, PSB via J49. Mall, Cody, C2W, APE, Bauer, Orly, Hattie, Joshua, Tigger, Drew Paul, runway 17 center. Fantastic. Alright. Now for the performance stuff. Let's go over here, actually. think they're done, so we'll close those guys. Yep. Fantastic. Oh, you too. Oh, I opened it again. Dang it. It's hard being a fake person. There we go. Everything's underway. Alright, flight details. Add, import. Boston, Cincinnati, Brickyard 4028. Time checks. Okay. Res 5 revs, CTR, HNK, PSB, Mall, Cody, CTW, Ticker 3. 30,000 feet. Logan, Cincinnati, 2 hours, 25 minutes, 86 passengers. Alright, let's get the weather. We're 22 right. So we'll get flaps 2, flaps 4. Runway condition is dry. Calculate. Sweet. This is what we need next. So, first things first. Do we have fuel? We don't. Okay. We'll get fueling while this does all the other stuff. That is so cool. Okay, Brickyard 4028, Boston, Cincinnati. Gross takeoff weight is 82,282. Wow, we're pretty heavy. Okay. Zero fuel weight, 69314. 220 at 922 right. 2,970 meters. It's like almost 8,000 feet. CG for takeoff, 18.9%. Takeoff fuel, 12,968. Good grief. 12,968. We'll monitor our systems from here. Okay. We have some fuel. Okay. Yeah. AC power off the GPU, 115 volts, 400 hertz. AC bus 1, 2, essential and standby. Transformer rectifier units at 28 volts, 60 amps for 1, 2 and essential. DC bus 1, 2, DC essential bus 1, 2, and 3. And batteries. Batteries took kind of a load today because I forgot to turn them on when we tried to go over to GPU. Alright, ECS. Don't really need anything out of that yet. Any ice, nothing. Engine maintenance, no faults, exceedances, limitations, and system configuration. Perfect. Don't know how to go to the other pages. I don't think you can yet. So, all right, plane mode out of Boston. So, if we pull up our flight plan here, Brickyard 4028. Okay. So, I want to look at the weather. Okay. So, pretty clear up until Hancock. It was Hancock, Hamilton, or Phillipsburg. Hancock, Phillipsburg, and Newcomerstown. Wasn't there... Oh, Chester, that was the other one. Chester, Hancock, Newcomerstown, Phillipsburg. Alright, our alternate is Detroit, which currently seems to be in an area that's rather clear. Which way are these things going? Are they still moving east? Yeah, for the most part. Okay, so we're probably going to be in clouds all the way through our descent into Cincinnati. Now, what's the actual weather looking like? Precipitation. Ooh, okay. There is weather around Cincinnati. How about turbulence? Nothing along our route has been reported. Ooh, into Cincinnati, though, it's getting pretty turbulent. Okay, it moved on. Just the wind barbs. Okay, wow, 105 knots. Goodness. What level is that? 300. Okay. Interesting. So we're at Boston, and I want Cincinnati as well. And Detroit. Our alternate. Okay, that's really hard to read. Please fix that, sim brief. Okay, we're VFR in Boston. It's really VFR 12004, 10 statute mile visibility. 6,000 is the lowest layer with an overcast layer at 8,000. Okay. Detroit's also VFR. Awesome. Let's look at the weather charts. Alright, we have a jet stream that's doing jet stream things. Most recent one, 290 to 105 knots. Yeah, dang. Okay. Chicago, Toronto, Boston, New York. So it's south of New York. Okay. So it looks like we're just barely missing the jet stream for the most part, and then we'll probably be on our descent by the time we're actually even close to hitting it. Alright, upper winds. This doesn't look so bad. That's 340. Okay. Almost minus 50. Any shifts? Barely. Okay. And then we've already seen the satellite, but we'll take another specific look at it. Okay. Looks like it's even reaching into Tennessee a little bit. Alright. I think we're situationally aware now. So if we pull up Sky Vector, oh, we already have our route in. Fantastic. No, wait. 300. Okay, this is all precipitation. Looks like it's beginning around, oh gosh, okay, so we'll be descending through, well, I don't know, 2 hours from now. That should be out of the area, but there's a moderate icing Sigmet, or Airmet, sorry, Zulu for ice and freezing level. New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Lake Erie, West Virginia, Maryland, and Virginia. Moderate icing, ah, jeez, between freezing level and flight level 180. So between 4,000, 7,000, all the way up to 180. Dang. Okay, 6,000 and 15,000. Oh, darn. Okay, 7,000, 10,000, 4,000, 16, 6 and 15. Dang. Alright, so icing. Really? Oh, it's this. Boston is used one as a boundary line, so technically we do have icing around Boston. Dang. Alright, so icing, yes, for our takeoff and landing performance. Let's pull up our flight plan on the charts. We're expecting 18 center. Fantastic. Oh wait, no, we did, oops, this is supposed to be Arnev Zulu. Arnev Zulu. Because I'm not anticipating all that weather will be there by the time we actually get there. Alright, Boston, let's go to reference plates, get all those guys. We're at 22 right. And let's see, parking gates, coordinates, low visibility taxi routes. Awesome. And let's pull up the Boston ground plate. So, right. Parking gates. We're at Bravo 6, I think? Yeah, Bravo 6. It'll be facing south, spot 3 for our release on the pushback today. So tail north, no southwest, mostly west. So Bravo 6, Terminal B, 456, 42 degrees north, 21.7 minutes, 71 degrees west, 1.3 minutes. Is this standardized? C, so we'll go Kilo, Alpha, November to 22 right. That's our expectation. 22 left, 215, change to 143, TJ, 091 to Burrow, 130 to Jate, 202 to Humo, and then 275 to Kenway, 301 to Revs. More on that stuff later. Alright, let's start with the airport familiarization chart for Boston Logan International Airport in Boston, Massachusetts. Plate 19er-01. Caution high-risk runway incursion. Happened recently. Complex runway environment. Class Bravo airspace overlies the airport in noise-sensitive areas. Airport elevation is 19 feet. It's located 1 nautical miles east of downtown Boston. MSA is going to be 2,000 feet. And then once we turn back west, it'll be 2,500. 22 right is this guy right here, and then we'll be turning east. So that's all. So this guy right here will climb over the bay and do an easterly turn. All right, 19-02 for Boston Logan International Airport. Airport familiarization plate. It's a public use airport. Longest runway landing distance available is runway 33 left at 10,083 feet or 3,073 meters. Time conversion from standard is UTC, Universal Time Code, -5 hours. Overview. Logan International Airport is located along the Atlantic coast. The airport is in Boston Harbor, which is in the western section of Massachusetts Bay. Reclaimed land joins several harbor islands that forms the airport area. Across the channel 1 nautical miles to the east, Winthrop and Deer Island comprise the northern barrier for Boston Harbor. The opening to Boston Harbor is located 3 nautical miles to the southeast, and the main shipping channel passes immediately south of the airport. To the west, a man-made structure is at 925 feet mean sea level within 3 nautical miles. Caution. Be alert to crossing clearances. Read back of all runway hold short instructions is required. Caution. This airport has a complex runway and taxiway system with multiple intersections that has resulted in numerous runway incursions. Birds present a significant hazard in the area. Numerous cranes are on and in the vicinity of the airport. Numerous tall buildings or skyscrapers are immediately to the west. Low visibility taxi routes exist at this airport. Weather, so we're in this season, 3.7 inches on average, 0.3 inches of snowfall, 1 day of thunderstorms, 11% instrumental meteorological conditions prevail throughout the month, or throughout the season, and winds are out of the west by northwest at 12 knots, but they're from the southwest in May and September. So ours are out of the, southwest. Cool. All right, low temperature 47 degrees Fahrenheit, high temperature 63. So we're looking at 22 right for our departures, plate 19er-04. We're using this guy, 22 right. So we're located here about. We're going to taxi on Alpha, November, crossing the other runways to runway 22 right, and then easterly. 22 right. There are no straight and instrument approach procedures to this runway because they use 22 left, the longer one, with a massively displaced threshold. Good grief. Visual vertical guidance is provided by precision approach path indicators of 3 degrees on the left side of the runway. So we'll be looking right here. Well, we won't be, but if someone's coming in to land, look right. Oh, sorry, right here. You can even see him. This runway has a displaced threshold resulting in a usable landing length of only 7,046 feet or 2,148 meters. There's an ODP for this runway, and the lowest takeoff minimums require a minimum climb gradient of 320 feet per nautical mile up to 500 feet mean sea level. So I think it's like 540 feet, and then we begin our left turn. So over the bay, and then easterly turn after whatever the actual height is. Does it say on here? No. Oh, yeah, here it is. No, that's a speed restriction. 210 knots until 520 feet. Then you can exceed 210 knots. All right. That's pretty much it. so we're at Bravo 6. Okay, takeoff landing fuel. Landing fuel, our expectation is, hold on a sec. So loading is finished. Fantastic. Takeoff fuel 12,968. 12, nope, no, 12,968. And our planned arrival fuel is 5,200 pounds. Okay, next page. Cruising altitude is flight level 300. Winds up yonder, B265 at 29. Okay, and our zero fuel weight is 69754. 69754. Nope. Yep, 69314. It changed. 69314. We're using our most up-to-date information. Takeoff CG 18.7, which gives us a trim of 3.5. That's 3.2. Don't know how that worked because I counted. 3.5 is set. Alright, performance. That was what we just did. Takeoff. Runway heading is 215 degrees. Zero runway slope. The surface winds. Boston. I know it's not much. At least it wasn't last time we looked. New information. Information. Lima. 240. Nope, this is the same. 2400 at 9. 2970, which is already set. Yeah, no other changes. Alright, good. Flights to departures, let's look at our takeoff data set. ATTCS and ECS are on. Anti-ice is auto. Flex, I guess we can flex. It's pretty cool up here in Boston today. Oh gosh. We might just go with a flaps 4 departure. Yeah. Okay, so trim of 3. Can't win with this frickin' trim switch. Too bad it doesn't actually recognize my trim control for some reason. Alright. So we need to adjust the takeoff data set to be flaps 4. Here we go, flaps 4. Alright, that's a lot better. Takeoff pitch 12. Wow, okay. Flight level 300, transition altitude is set, cruising 300, descent, flight level 180 set. I'm not going to worry about that, but it's going to be a flaps full landing. That's what I'm planning on. Okay, so that's set over here. Come over here. I'm not going to put that in again. Map, don't need this, don't need this. I want you and you. Fantastic. So, let's do our takeoff planning. So, as it is in our departure procedure that we just looked over slightly. Let's see, revs 5, RNAV departure from 22 right, climb heading 215 degrees, intercept course 143 degrees to TJ. Intersection, do not exceed 210 knots until 520 feet. Then undetected route to revs. Top altitude 5,000, maintain 5,000, expect clearance to filed altitude, flight level within 10 minutes after departure. So 5,000 is already set. So takeoff runway 22 heading 215 until 143 degrees to TJ, 091 degrees to task. I'm sorry, that's runway 15. So 215 on departure, 143 to TJ, 091 to Burrow, max 250 knots at or above 3,000 at Burrow. Right turn 130 to JT intersection. Right turn at 202 degrees to Humo intersection. Max 260 knots at or above 5,000 at Humo. Another right-hand turn 275 to Kenwee. After Kenwee, right turn heading 301 degrees to Revs. So MSA is 2,000 on our departure. Mora is 2,100. After Kenwee, it's 2,600. Then at Revs is 3,400. That's plate 10-3 Golf for the Revs 5 RNAV departure for 22 right. So, Boston, TJ, Burrow, JT, Humo, Kenwee, Revs. And then we're off the Revs. That's Chester, Hamilton. Right? That was Hamilton, I think. Let's get off of this. Should say up here. I swear it's Hamilton. Hancock. Oh, darn. Hancock. It's one of those New England colonial names. Hancock. That explains the K for sure. Hancock, Phillipsburg, Mall, Cody, Newcomerstown, Appleton, Bower, Orly, Hetty, Jarzo, Tigger, and then 1-8 Center into Cincinnati. Fantastic. So that's all done. Let's make sure we're getting everybody on board and everything is going according to schedule. We can perform a test first. Should have done that before I turn the APU on. Okay, that all checks. Cancel the master warning and close the flight deck door. Start the APU. So, APU percentage will come up as well as its exhaust gas temperature. And you can probably hear it spooling up in the back. Fantastic. So that's while that while that's spooling up. Once we shift over to APU Gen Bus, we'll release the ground power unit. And then we'll get ready to get out of here. So let's communicate with, that's not what I wanted. Let's communicate with delivery controller.
Good morning, Jet 556, 10,000, we'll be leveling at 11 load up.
Good morning, we have a information Delta at 5, we have that, expected visual approach to runway 27.
We have information Delta open.
Alright, so cockpit preparation has been completed. Pre-flight checklist has been completed. Pre-flight briefing, we have altimeters 2970 indicating 20 feet. Set left, center, and on the right side is cross-checked. ATC clearance, we have the Res 5 departure Revs transition, altitude 5,000, and we'll squawk 1232 for our arbitrary squawk code. And we'll start transponding, ident. Okay, taxi briefing. We already went over it, but we'll do it again. So we're looking at plate 10-9 Delta. This is actually the low visibility taxi route, but we're just using it for reference. I'll actually use this chart here for a second. 10-9 Bravo. It's going to be a push block off of stand 6 to release point 3 facing south. We're going to go over to spot 4 onto Kilo 678. And then Kilo, we'll make a left on Alpha. We'll take Alpha all the way around to November. So Kilo, Alpha, November. We'll hold short of 15 right. Once we're cleared, we'll continue to cross 15 right. Short of 15 left, even though it's closed. We'll confirm that we're clear to cross. After 15 left, we'll hold for the full length 22 right. That's our runway expectation. So our departure runway is 22 right. It's heading at 215. It is 7,864 feet long and is reported dry. Shouldn't be any problems for our departure today. There's plenty of runway. It might be a longer than usual takeoff roll because of the added drag from our flaps. Setting at 4 for departure, however, increased lift once we actually get to speed. So I imagine our climb will be pretty high performance. Threats, single pilot operations. It's early morning. It's a high density traffic airport environment, a complex airport environment with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runways. One of them's closed, but they could be using any of the other ones. So that's about that. Nothing to add there. So let's talk about threats for our departure today. Let me just set this into RTO. Oh, hold on. We're on APU power, so GPU comes off. We don't need that guy anymore. Let's just wait for it to switch over. APU, 116, 400, 28. Perfect, and the batteries are being recharged. Awesome, I can go away. I don't think I ever actually... Yeah. Perfect. Alright, we'll wait on them. Right. Emergency briefing. So it's going to be a standard company procedure for our departure today. All call-outs, please. It's going to be a flaps 4 configuration for departure. Our V speeds are V1 128, VR 128, V2 131. It's going to be a takeoff flex 1 at 29 degrees with 88.3% in the N1. So I'll call set takeoff thrust. We'll set 88.3% in the N1. Confirm takeoff thrust is set. Call airspeed alive, synchronize at 80 knots. Neutralize any control inputs at 100 knots. Call V1 at 128. V2 131. Call for gear up. And retract flaps on schedule. Prior to 80 knots, I'll stop or reject for any malfunction or master caution on the runway. Above 80 knots, but before 128 knots, which is V1, I'll stop or reject for any fire warning, engine failure, predictive wind shear warning, aircraft is unsafe or unable to fly, any crew incapacitation, or loss of control. Any rejection call will be stop, stop. We'll simultaneously close the thrust levers, disengage the auto throttle, verify RTO, or apply manual braking, reverse the speed brakes, and apply maximum reverse thrust. Upon stopping, I'll set the parking brake. I'll advise cabin crew on station, on station. As pilot not flying, your actions will be to call out abnormals or emissions from standard procedure, verify reverse thrust normal, verify speed brakes up, note braking and speed, call ATC to advise of projection on the runway. We'll assess the situation, perform any memory items. We'll reference cure rates or any non-normal or emergency checklists as required. If evacuation is determined to be necessary, then we'll proceed with the checklist from the QRH. Now for any engine problems after V1 but before 500 feet above ground level, no actions except cancel the warning, raise the gear, and select toga. 500 feet or above, we'll select heading mode. If no engine failure, then indicate airspeed mode as well. Call the malfunction or abnormality and perform any memory items. Engine failure procedure will be as published or according to the company standard. Gross weight considerations. Let's look at our load sheet one more time. So our takeoff weight is 83, our max takeoff is 85, max landing weight is just under 75, so we'll have to burn just over 8,000 pounds or come back for an overweight landing if an immediate return is necessary. So if we have to come back for an immediate landing, it'll be runway 33 left, which is the longest runway, or 15 right, whichever the winds favor. But we'll be in communication with company and ATC for more details on that. Landing configuration for 10 left or 15 right will be flaps 3 or flaps 4 for landing with maximum auto brake and full reverse thrust if we have it. Our departure, revs 5 aren't at departure. So climb out heading 215 degrees, intercept course 143 to TJ intersection, don't exceed 210 knots until 520 feet. Then a depicted route to revs revs intersection, top altitude 5,000, maintain 5,000, expect clearance to filed altitude within 10 minutes after departure. So we have speed restriction 250 knots at or above 3,000 at Burrow. Humo is max 260 knots at or above 5,000. MSA is 2,000, and the Mora is 2,100, 2,600, 3,400 respectively along our route. Threats for our departure, it's a very busy airspace, single pilot operations with all the channel switching. So we'll actively monitor the TCAST system or any targets near us on our departure. It's going to be with Boston departure after takeoff. Transition altitude, of course, in the continental U.S. is always flight level 180, 18,000 feet. No weather threats for our departure today. It'll be a left seat departure. Automated systems on departure will be LNAV, auto thrust, and flight level change mode. And in the event of an emergency, IAS mode or heading mode. In the case of an engine failure, we'll just use heading mode and manual thrust. We're going to be RNAV to TJ as our first fix on departure. It'll be a company departure procedure, so standard. Flaps config for takeoff is 4, no supplementary procedures today. We'll do an engine start off APU bleed. Start sequence will be engine 1, then engine number 2. No MELs or CDLs. We won't start engine 2 until crossing runway 15 right to save on fuel. No additional concerns or threats. As long as there's no questions or no additions, we'll confirm the load sheet with our performance data. Takeoff fuel of 12,968. So we're down here. Takeoff fuel 12,968 is checked. Planned arrival fuel 5,200 pounds. Cruising altitude flight level 300. I think it has that on here. That's interesting. We had it on here though. Here? Yeah, 30,000 feet. 2 hours and 25 minutes. Okay, enter zero fuel weight 69314. 69314. Gross takeoff weight 82,282 pounds. All right, takeoff CG was 18.9 with a trim of 3. Is set. Rolling yaw trim is 0 neutral. We're on APU, so electric pump A can come on, and we'll set 2 flaps for now for 4 total for departure. All right, performance data has been cross-checked. V1-128, VR-128, V2-131 is cross-checked. All right, so now we'll give a PA, and we'll get ready to get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board Republic Airways 4028 American Eagle from Boston to Cincinnati. Aboard this Embraer 175, we're currently waiting on the final load sheet from the ramp handling agent and the completion of our loading today. Our flight time today is going to be 2 hours and 25 minutes. Conditions here in Boston are pretty good for departure, very light winds out of the southwest, and visibility is really good. En route conditions, we'll be passing over some weather systems, so we'll keep you up to date on our arrival conditions as we're further along our route and closer to our descent into Cincinnati. We'll be cruising at 30,000 feet today. Anytime the fasten seatbelt sign is on, please remain seated with seatbelt fastened. Anytime the seatbelt sign is off, we also ask that you remain seated with the seatbelt fastened if you have no reason to be up, just in case we experience any unexpected turbulence or rough air. Please give the cabin crew your full and undivided attention as they're about to demonstrate the safety features of this Embraer ERJ175. Thank you, and once again, welcome on board. Alright, let's call for pushback. Boarding is complete.
Remember at 11 o'clock in 2 miles. Company 3,600 for the northbound. Company Southwest.
Okay, so red beacon will be switched on.
Hello,
Everything else is automated.
We are ready for pushback.
Don't need that. LNAV. Vertical speed. Let's aim for 2,200 on departure. And flight director. FMS1, FMS2.
I'll put it on request, so for now, expect runway 8. Put it in here.
Oh.
Okay, we're flying 8 now.
Okay, that was strange. Finding a good view. That'll do.
Lock in gear.
Yeah, why is the jet bridge not going away? Nothing. Okay. I'm sure it'll do it on its own then.
That was 18.
I guess we don't need the flight directors jumping about. There it goes.
Release parking brakes.
Okay, park release, you're clear to push. It'll be start sequence 1 to 2 advise when we're clear to start.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Okay, clearance to start. Park brakes off, timer started, starting engine number 1. So you can hear the packs come off as the bleeds get shunted to the engines for the high pressure air. Alright, we have ITT and M1 rotation, fuel flow is positive, and oil pressure and temperature increase.
So 1310, contact tower 120.9, good day.
So we need to communicate with ground control. Waiting for that engine to stabilize. Where's ground control?
Set parking brakes.
2175.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Alright, we'll expect the pennant signal on the left. There's ground. So we have one good engine. Let's guard it. And starting engine number 2. Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. I said we're not going to start it until 15, right? You know what? That's okay. We'll start this engine, shut down the APU immediately. It shouldn't cause too much of a disparity in fuel consumption rather than just taxing on one engine. And actually, we couldn't taxi on one engine because it requires an N1 greater than 40, and with a with such a highly congested airport as Boston, they won't want us taxing at a high power setting on this airport space. Okay, we have N1 ITT, fuel flows positive, oil pressure and temperature increasing. Alright, let's get the rest of the flaps out.
Southwest 3581, monitor 12385.
135, we'll see it's got 3581.
Alright. There's the handler. Okay, there's the pin and signal. So we'll come up here, turn on the lights, And turn off the APU. And flight control check. Ailerons full left. Ailerons full right. Ailerons neutral. Elevator full forward. Full back. Neutral. Rudder full left. Rudder full right. Neutral. Flight control check has been completed. Flight controls are free and correct. Go to map mode. And I want terrain on your side.
Level 2247 ground Mike, short of Lima 3.
Mike, short of Lima 3, Delta 2247.
Oh, that's already fantastic. All right, and let's do a brake check. Brake check's completed, and we are out of here. Bye-bye. So we need to make a right turn onto whatever alleyway this is, whatever it's identified as. And it has spot 4 on it. And then a left turn onto Kilo.
779, you are number 1 to go out there. Towers on 125.32. 32, Delta 78.
Alright, clear on the left and clear on the right. What is happening? Why is that happening?
Runway 90 left at Mike 2, taxi via Romeo, exit Romeo 10.
Okay.
And then full short here, Charlie.
That was weird.
Sorry, Sierra Charlie, 49 left, Mike 276.
I think it's because I was fooling around with my head trucking. Alright, let's go to flight details.
5 south of Endeavor 53 ground 9 left Mike 2, taxi via Lima to Lima 1.
Endeavor.
Lima to Lima 1.
Oh, that looks amazing. What a beautiful day out of Austin. Of course, you got the city right over there. Can't see much of it.
When you make the turn, just hold short of Romeo 7.
We'll try early zone, so right 1396.
Alright, so there's a specific spot here in Boston where you transfer to the other ground control on 121.9er. Oh, let's go with that. Awesome. Pretty desolate today.
25,
Looks like the wind's blowing from our right, just enough to knock us off center line if we don't have a little bit of left rudder input. Alright, we're looking for Alpha. It'll be this turn onto Alpha.
Give with an obstruction of 7 power, then continue on Romeo and hold for non-road approach.
And your Romeo, hold for approach on Silver Air 6.
Well, what are you doing, truck? Or stay where you need to be. Don't want what happened at Chicago to happen to us. Where that passenger bus is smacked into the front of a plane. Knocked it off the center line and everything. That was crazy to see. Oh, Flight Tampa's done so good. Look at that standing water roof with reflective properties. It's so cool. Alright, this is where we need to hold short to contact the other ground controller. And we'll go to 121.9 and continue our text.
Make sure your transponder is on, please.
And we're clear on the right and clear on the left. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for departure. Cool, looks like we'll have an almost direct headwind.
25.7 on Ontario on 12385.
I can't remember, but I think we might be going to DC today as well. Actually, I think we might be going to DC from Cincinnati.
Mike, short of Lima 3,247.
That just looks so good. Of course, that is my humble opinion. Might look like Arbus to somebody else. All right. So, coming up on 15 right. See any other traffic? So, on November.
Delta 1030 underground, number 1 NLS at Mike 2. And for now,
Looks
the
clear.
Delta 1030, actually 10, or 9 left, yeah. Or 9
So I'm
left,
going to hold here and go
Mike.
over the tower on 28.8, I think is what it
Make
is.
sure your transponder is on, please. It is now.
It is now. Alright, let's hold here. Alright, now what's the tower frequency? Boston Tower, westerly is 28.8, because we're on the west side of the airport.
Good morning, number 5012, 4 north, ready for taxi.
And everybody's low on the left ground.
And to 8.8 it is. And actually, while I'm here, Boston departures on 3300. Okay. And we're still clear. We're crossing an active runway environment, so strobe will come on. Well, not an active runway. Alright, clear. I don't want to get got for crossing a runway at a bad time.
Delta 1672, contact depart. See you later.
Approaching. 1, 5.
Who is that?
Right.
Okay, yeah, we are crossing 15 right. Who are you? Identify yourself. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the RAS system. Runway Alert Awareness System. Runway RAS. Runway Alert Awareness. Pretty sure R is runway. It's like a situation awareness tool for flight decks, so that you don't accidentally like take off or land on the wrong runway, or try and land or take off on a taxiway. It reminds you about barometric pressure settings for transition altitudes and everything else. All right, there's 15 left.
67, Victor Heavy Hill Tower, runway 27 left, clear to land.
No traffic.
27 left, 67 Victor.
Let's get across rather hastily. Getting distracted, sorry. I see bridges off in the distance. What is that? Oh, just another bridge. Okay. Coming up on our assigned runway. Doesn't look like anybody's on the approach segment. Doesn't look like anybody's on radar. There's not for a little bit. There's someone over the Gulf of Maine right now. he's coming into line in Boston.
American 2687, flight heading 230, runway 27 right, clear for takeoff.
All right.
30 heading, 27 right, clear for takeoff, 2687.
Set parking brake. Flight tendencies for takeoff, please. All right, flight directors. And yaw damper.
Breakout 4723, contact the bar. See you later. Breakout 4723, song.
All right. Left is clear. Right is clear. Let's line up.
Approaching. 2 right.
Lights. 22 right is identified and confirmed.
American 598,
No one on the parallel either. Oh, look, they even modeled the EMAS, engineered material arresting system, in the event of a runway overrun or like gear
On
problems.
runway 2 right.
All right, 22 right is confirmed. Let's go ahead and set takeoff thrust. Thrust is set. Takeoff mode. Airspeed's alive. Cross checks. 100.
Tower 35 Hotel, Foxtrot 21. Escort 35 Hotel, Foxtrot, taxi rate.
Rotate.
You are cleared to land after landing. Remain my frequency and taxi direction to Atlantic.
Nice rotation, nice and smooth. Positive climb is confirmed, gear up.
American 598, flight 265, runway 27 right, clear for takeoff. 265 and clear for takeoff.
Alright, RNAV to TJ. Let's go. Autopilot, flight level change. And speed checks, flaps 2. I want a little more speed than this. Let's go 210.
Keep on 6062, tower hold runway 27 right, line of way. Line of way 27 right.
210. Let's bring level off here for a second, so accelerate. Speed checks, flaps 1. Lovely. And speed checks, flaps up. Very good. So we're across TJ. Gears up. Auto brake is off. Flaps are up. Spoilers are obviously in. Don't need those guys anymore. We are out of Boston. So I'm going to bring this in a little bit. I'll take weather on my side. And yes, it actually does work. It does show precipitation, all that stuff. Alright, revs 5. Alright, we need to go over to departure as well. 133.0.
South 1382, quick past 2600, final speed is a main 5,
Alright, we can increase our speed to 250 knots. 1 to go, reset to 10. 250 knots. Perfect. Alright, we're now out of 5,000, passing Burrow. cruise at or above 3,000 right now. Fantastic.
3495 today, Scout 4480.
This tracking well. Textbook departure out of Boston is runway 22 right.
Departure, current 2348, 2.3, coming 3000.
Alright, now on the right turn after JT. 6,250 knots. So I think we can't be above 260, yeah, until after Humo. So after 10,000 feet, we can only increase to 260 at the most.
November 4 to Whiskey, contact first on 12535 today.
12535.
That was some weird noises. Alright, what's our first fuel check? Let's see. To climb Chester at 10.9.
289 in the turn.
After 21 minutes.
600 feet for 19,000.
So top of climb estimated 16 minutes. So we have 12 minutes to go. So we're at 8,000 feet now. For 30,000 feet, that's 22,000 feet in 12 minutes. That's less than 2,000 feet per minute. So we should do better than that. There's 9,000 for 10,000. And we're set to 18. So we'll be flying over Providence, Hartford. No, wait. We'll be, let's see, we pass north of Providence, well north of Hartford, north of Springfield, to Chester. Alright, there's 10,000 feet, so the 10,000 feet checks. Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, this is the captain speaking. We are now above 10,000 feet on our departure out of Boston. That seatbelt sign will remain on until we're well established in a cruising altitude. However, this time the cabin crew will be passing through the cabin to begin their services. On behalf of American Eagle, American Airlines, and our One World Alliance partners, I want to welcome you on board Flight 4028, and thanks for choosing to fly with us today. We'll have more information for you about our cruise and the weather conditions around Cincinnati once we're well established at our cruising altitude. I want to take this time to thank you for choosing American Eagle and welcome aboard. I don't need all that mess. I thought I turned all this stuff off. Shame on you for not doing that. Alright, we can increase our speed to 260. Although I think we're already past Humo, aren't we? Yeah, we're from Humo. Okay, so we can actually accelerate to 290.
Southwest 4300, turn right direct north, northeast.
290. Oh. Just Boston one more time.
Mark still 2956, 1000, climbing flight level 190.
Southwest 2956, north southwest radar contact.
Goodness. It sounds like a fancy restaurant. Pretty sure I heard the clattering of silverware. It's like the ambient conversation audio of the cabin. outweighs the sound of the aircraft.
It's
a lot of trees.
6,000 from left heading 280.
All right, so we're doing great in the climb. Well, 1,400 feet. What speed did it want in the climb? 300? What? There's no way. Okay, well.
Delta 2640 near Star Trek,
It is then, I guess.
360, maintain 5,000.
360 up to 5,000 up to 2644.
They did a really good job. And there was a recent update. I'm using the most updated version of the scenery. I think an update came out like 2 or 3 days ago. Miami to Oslo. North Shuttle.
X-ray 5.2 Delta, contact departure 124.75.
Alright, we're out of 15, and now we need to go over to center controller on 133.325.
That maintain level 190 for traffic. Maintain 190, push you to 390. It is cross quit that maintain level 190, please. Cross quit at 190, push you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to make top of the climb. Yeah, so we still have 14,000 feet to go, but only 12 minutes to get there. Well, I mean, okay, that actually might be spot on, because what would that be?
American 372, just maintain level 240.
It would just be over 1,000. 1,250. I think at 1,400 we should be fine, as long as we can keep the 1,400 foot per minute climb performance. Alright, and well, we are well on our way to revs. One to go. Let's reset to 30. 30,000 feet is set. We were at such a low pressure setting that I think the altimeters are probably going to shoot up once we reach 18.
Good,
Yeah.
3652, better welcome and say the event note, please.
Not by much though.
Thank you.
There's 18.
372, contact center 123.75.
Standard barrel pressure is set. Alright, there's not a lot to do until we're well established in cruise. These cabin sounds are just a little obnoxious. I'll turn those down.
Good afternoon, 4947, plus level 250, 4947,
That's a little bit. Okay, we'll enjoy the views until we're on cruise.
Airport 124, everything, roger.